Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Supplemental. We're one day away from our annual Moistmas celebrations, and the ship is teeming with merriment-related activity. Any crew that have been caught celebrating Moistmas prematurely have been summarily fired out of a torpedo chute. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter, or Twat. Today we're going to start with two separate instances of WWE superstars trending. The first one is Lacey Evans, somebody who I will admit has achieved bugger all really on the roster. She was clearly given this chance to try and get over, and it didn't resonate with the viewers. Her background, her family, it all seemed to be the right boxes ticked. For the female John Cena to stand up, but she's nothing like John Cena and sucked balls. So with her career kind of meh, she's floundered a bit. I consider this quite an important thing to accept. It's all well and good being on a roster like the WWE's, but if you're not really going anywhere, you at best become a journeyman, woman in this case, or a gatekeeper for certain tiers of wrestling. In the women's, there aren't many tiers at all. You're either good or you suck. And of course, if you're Ronda Rousey, then you're just everything better than everyone else, of course. Did any sarcasm sign for that? Now, the reason Lacey Evans was trending is because she's been using Instagram to say some rather things. These things would never have been approved by the WWE because they are too controversial on the face of it. For example, ADD autism did not exist before, underneath the quote, "Back when I was a kid, there was no such thing as those things, right?" I'm starting to understand why this rubbed people up the wrong way, but there's more to it than this. You see, Lacey's also promoted this idea that things like processed foods have led to this, which there is some debate on that. I won't be drawn in on that aspect, because that's not the game many play when it comes to companies like the WWE. It's all about optics. So whether it's real, truthful or not, does not matter. It will be spun and spun and spun. Many people take what she has said, because she is considered a role model as a part of the WWE universe, very seriously. And so they take great personal offense at things she says if what she says can be considered fake, false, or anti-science. And in the same breath, anti-God. Just thought I'd insert that as well. Not that Lacey Evans has been accused of that. What's fascinating is really with Lacey Evans promoting this kind of thought process, let's call it that instead of rhetoric, is that Lacey Evans has done an advert for Foster Farms corn dogs, which are processed. So it's okay for you to take money from doing processed food commercials, but to then post clips, content on your Instagram story against processed foods because of ADD, autism, being irate Alex, all of that is in context all right. And I do just want to add before we get to a conclusion on this, somebody had tweeted, blackface much? I'm crying, Lacey Evans is done for. She had posted on Instagram a picture of her daughter, I believe, as a werewolf, with the daughter's face painted brown. Now, I personally did not think that was blackface, because I got what the costume was supposed to be. The ears were a giveaway, I'll be honest. The nose, no, I didn't think it was that. But I can understand how it can be misinterpreted. It was also in the trending tab, which tickled me to no end. Lacey has since gone on to delete the social media posts after sharing what has been dubbed an autism conspiracy. I wonder how long she'll be off TV for this time. Moving on from that, Mandy Rose had been trending. She has, I believe, the third or second longest NXT Women's Champion reign in history. She was trending quite a bit beforehand though, because many were comparing her finisher to that of Kenny Omega's, indicating that her version of the same move was superior. She had created this stable, she was great on a microphone, her performances were actually very entertaining, and her longevity as champion was justified. When she originally started, I thought she would just be another muscular nobody who would accomplish nothing. She then went back to NXT, and became something. The potential for her to then become something more was in the hands of the WWE. But the WWE have this thing, and I have to specify this quite clearly. While they consider their talent, they think their talent is everything that they own. As in, you can't do anything outside of your contract unless permitted to. This caused much friction when it came to streamers, i.e. superstars who were on Twitch, or the same superstars who had YouTube channels. I was quite fond of the Up Up Down Down channel for a while, and the less said about Long Island Iced Z, the better, I guess. Once they got their fingers in that pie, it was ruined, and Zack Ryder's career over. In the WWE anyway. Mandy Rose used another site, an alternative means of making additional income. It is speculated via a number of outlets her contract was worth $150,000 a year, which sounds a lot, doesn't it? But that also is your travel, your insurance, your hotels, your food, your life. It's not much when you're on a perpetually traveling circus. Mandy Rose recently dropped the title, the NXT Women's Championship, to Roxanne Perez. This was a surprise. It came out of the blue, and I'll be honest, I didn't get it. I didn't get it when Paige beat AJ, but it happened. Mandy Rose had tweeted out on December the 14th, "Thank you. She had a long reign and she did exceptionally well, and she deserved to be credited for that." Her recent trending was because she was released from a WWE contract. Initially, I had no idea why she had been released. But then Moonlight Graham had tweeted, "WWE has a long history of exploiting women's bodies. WWE once supported its talents posing for Playboy. WWE allegedly asked female wrestlers to dress sexy as recent as October 2021. Mandy Rose wasn't fired for sexy photos, she was fired because the WWE couldn't monetize them. And that's because she has been posting on an alternative to OnlyFans. We'll get to more of that later. There is a clause in many contracts, as Fig Teasers pointed out, third parties profiting from WWE trademarks. WWE saw this with Twitch. Exactly the same scenario, WWE see it as them profiting from their trademark. No doubt there'd be more discretion if it wasn't sexual content. But ultimately this isn't a moral choice by WWE. It's a very underhanded contractual one that you assume they could have dealt with far less severely than this. I agree. But again, as is often the case with the WWE, you're not allowed to make money unless they make money as well. And I understand that, it's a business. The WWE own you. They own your name. So if you go to the ring and your name is Mandy Rose, you can't use it ever again professionally because they own the trademark to it. Cody Rhodes had a similar issue when he went to AEW. He could only use his first name. Why? Because the WWE owned the full name. What a load of bollocks. Micromanaging every aspect of someone's life. Claiming their talent, but you treat them as self-employed. That doesn't tell me you care about their talent. And it's understandable many would want to seek out alternative means to supplement their income. And that's interesting here because justice for Mandy Rose was also trending. And it's through this that I saw an update concerning Mandy Rose and what she's done since her firing. Since her firing, which has been dubbed controversial by everyone, she has made $500,000 on fan time. Triple plus of what she would have made working for the WWE, allegedly. Even if her salary was basic $300,000, she wasn't making $300,000, and she's already made more than that from fan time. Granted, the law of diminishing returns will come into full effect eventually, but the optics on this do not look good in the slightest. Why? Because you built up a champion who, if you had spoken to, perhaps addressed the issue properly, offered a fair package to move her to the main roster, where she belonged, quite frankly, give her some quality matches, decent merch, a better split perhaps. This could have been avoided, but no. This is entirely because the WWE want to control what she can do, and in turn, control what she can make in her best years. She's 32 years old. She's in the prime of her life. She's going to want to make as much as she can for as long as she can. If there is clearly no indication she could for you or with you, then she's right to keep doing this and go somewhere else. When Vince McMahon introduced the third-party banning platform thing, I think if you work together, you can come to an agreement where it's beneficial for all parties involved. And the WWE do not look good in any of this. To any WWE stan defending the WWE, you are a part of the problem. You can't understand it, that's okay. I wouldn't expect you to if you are so limited as to not understand this. It might be too much processed food. To move away from that entirely, we need to now talk about Elon Musk. And there's only one tweet we need to talk about. He has made a number of errors recently, and I have said there's no version of any reality, past, present, future, in all discovered and undiscovered dimensions where he could ever say something and people actually all agree, or anyone agrees in fact, that he's doing the right thing, unless it involves him not being in control of Twitter, in which case, unanimous-ish. On the 18th of December, Elon Musk tweeted out, "Should I step down as head of Twitter? I will abide by the results of this poll." I voted no. Why? Because damn it, Twitter's gotten fun of late, hasn't it? I know there's been a lot of burnout concerning talking about Elon Musk. I know the Quartering has made a lot of videos talking about this. Talking about Elon Musk running Twitter, in fact. Some pro, some against, some explaining some discrepancies or misunderstandings with policy changes. Ultimately, I don't care. I just don't think he should, because he's only been here for a short while. It is right that he be given a fair chance to make the mistakes, because anyone dumb enough, anyone narrow-minded enough to think that he's always going to get things correct is the right kind of moron that will vote yes on this. People make mistakes, everyone does. Twitter made mistakes since its inception. It made a whole plethora of errors, in fact. Yet a certain type of belief system is why it's never got changed sooner, or why those that were running Twitter were never truly held accountable. The Twitter files are a damning indictment of the quality of the leadership that was running Twitter before it was sold. Elon's more recent mistakes pale in comparison, and if you can't see that, I think you've also been eating too many processed foods. Before I give you the result of the poll, Unfiltered Boss had said that blue subscribers should be the only ones that can vote in policy-related polls because we actually have skin in the game. Elon Musk agrees, saying good point, Twitter will make that change. This is also something backed up by Keemstar. Only verified Twitter Blue accounts should be able to vote in polls that determine changes for Twitter. This eliminates most bot campaigns and bad actors and gives a stronger voice to those that love this app so much they pay $8 a month. Many are arguing, under Keemstars, that this is a suppression of free speech. That is a false equivalence. 100% it is. Elon wants to know that those that support what he is doing back or do not back the changes that he is trying to implement. Policy change, to be honest, shouldn't just be done blanket wide on the site, because it then could be impacted by those who use bot accounts. That is not free speech at that point, is it? It's called electoral manipulation. I think you might know something about it. So the result of the poll, with 17.5 million votes, 57.5% said yes. Elon had followed this up after many days of silence. I will resign as CEO as soon as I find someone foolish enough to take the job. After that, I will just run the software and server teams. With my favorite response coming from Tom. If you don't know who Tom is, Tom created MySpace, sold it for a few $100 million, and is now living his very best life. We miss you, Tom. You are our first friend. Mine on social media, no lie. I didn't have any on Bebo, but when I joined MySpace in 2006, he was my first one. So next, some audience participation, courtesy of Norn Queen Alexis. What are your oddly specific hobby red flags? For me, it's people that bash other paint jobs because of the type or brand of paint used on the model. If it looks good, it's a good paint job. 40k accounts in Twitter that poorly roleplay as Space Marines or Commissars. Most of the time they are super cringy. As someone that has their name derived from a Primarch, I don't know whether I should be concerned yet or not. For me, the red flag is in stores. If I go into a store and pull out anything that doesn't belong to that company, their own glue, their own clippers, their own files, they tell me to put it away because they can't be sure of its safety, they can't be sure of what it is made of. I find this quite irritating because if I then try to use other things from other franchises to make a model work, they then gatekeep. I get you are there to make sales. I'm very much aware of the Games Workshop business model. Having had a housemate work for them, it is a very toxic environment, 100%. However, when I am threatened with being banned from a store because I've told you I can tell you exactly what's in the glue and how it is superior to your glue, I consider this to be a red flag, and another reason why I no longer frequent Games Workshop stores. Less interested in the hobby and very much only interested in the sales. So that's a second red flag for me, because I want to go in and have a conversation as well. If I can, I'd happily hang around and paint for a bit. However, toxic environment. Why would I want to waste my time doing that when I could sit at home and have a glass of whiskey? Moving on from that, we go to Magog. Brutal. A retweet of Clay Travis. The Washington Post, which has lost 500,000 subscribers in the past year, has announced layoffs are coming to the paper. The meeting did not go well. Is Taylor Lorenz still hired by you guys? Cause she's shit. Included is a video.
We're not going to turn the town hall into a grievance session for the I'm sorry.
Ask the question.
Brad, you talked about positions getting eliminated. What are you going to do to protect people's jobs? Are they going to be treated like the magazine staffers were?
We'll have more information as we move forward. Thank you very much.
And how will your positions be decided?
You seem to be disrespecting.
Now I have some advice for the Washington Post and all your former employees. This is another fantastic example of the state of journalism at present, which is a rather complicated way of saying go woke, go broke. Get woke, go broke, whatever. That bollocks. My advice to you is all very, very simple. You'll like this because it's novel, but practical. And practical application of skills is vitally important to one's success in the workplace. Learn to code. To our final tweet, because I don't want to do any more in this video, okay? From Belief. Did you achieve your 2022 goals? Now mine was to try and continue with this as my job. To an extent I succeeded, but it was not the easiest of years. It really wasn't. However, I can be very proud in the knowledge that we are still here, that we are still trying to grow, still trying to improve. We have another channel and that is growing as well. And I'm very proud that that channel, within 6 to 7 months, maybe slightly more, has 6,000 subscribers. That's amazing. Goal next year would be to double that, if possible. The goal for this channel is to try and make better videos for all of you. I don't think we did as well as we could have, but I think we can do better. And that's the goal for next year.
Maybe I did clickbait a little bit, so what? I'm still a YouTuber. But, have you read the Quran? No, not yet. I mean, guys, I've read some passages or some important quotes and things like that. I follow a lot of Instagram.
Yeah, so I saw that shared via Mo Translates on Twitter, and to be honest, I felt it only right to include it because I forgot to include it last time. All right. Toodles.